Hello, my name is June. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me and talking about some things that interest me. So if you're interested, please stick around. Thank you. Also, I haven't uploaded in a while, quite a while, my review for, or not review, but I suppose comparison of these two products and my final thoughts on this and my thoughts on this palette. That is the old Blend Bunny Dollhouse palette, the old version. I've had this for a long time. I have used this so much, and they recently came out with the reformulated version of it. Yeah, that video will be up probably next week. I want to say it's already filmed. I just haven't had time to edit it. The past week and a half I've been on vacation, and so, you know, I wasn't doing videos or editing or anything like that. But today I'm going to use the palette that I created for my vacation and I used on my vacation. I will put up shade names and all of that probably not when this video goes up. I'll probably update the video with a list of all these shades. This is honestly a combination of the Muse palette, build your own palette that I did. I have not uploaded that. That will be up soon as well. And then the Dieverune Cosmetics Andromeda collaboration build your own palette that I did, that I have already posted and will link. That one's an older video. I combined the two basically into something that I really wanted to use on vacation, and I did use this a lot while I was on vacation, and I really enjoyed all of the looks that I created with this, and it's a little outside my comfort zone. I prefer pinks or not pinks, I prefer purples and blues. That's my safe zone, and this has a lot of greens. Okay, there's two greens in this palette. And then, you know, this shade I'm not really used to. I use purples, but generally they're cooler tone purples. And so this was just a little bit outside my comfort zone, and I really wanted to use specific shimmers. Basically all of the shimmers in this I really adored, and I built the mattes around these shimmers. So I'm just gonna be creating a look that I did while I was on vacation and using this palette. But for today's discussion, I'm going to be talking about the idea of doing your makeup for your ethnicity. Because I have some thoughts and quandaries and opinions about that. I don't know if it's a trend, I just heard it and saw it, and I have some thoughts, so let's get started. Okay, first shade I'm going to go into is this one. This is from the Blends Bunny palette. I don't remember what shade it is. It'll be linked down below. I'm just going to put that on my crease. But this idea of doing makeup for your ethnicity, I've watched a few videos or shorts, or I suppose shorts are just basically TikToks that have been migrated to YouTube, I'm guessing. And I find it a very interesting concept. And when you hear the phrase doing makeup for my ethnicity, what one would hope, I suppose, is that you would be doing your makeup to really complement the features that you have that show up in the ethnicity that you're a part of. And I don't think that's how people are using it necessarily, because generally makeup, very popular makeup, tends to cater towards the dominant beauty standard for a specific ethnicity. And that doesn't mean, sorry if you can hear the alarms in the background, hold on. that doesn't mean it is the common traits found in that ethnicity necessarily. It just means that these traits are what are desired for this specific ethnicity within this social context, within this specific time frame. And I think people forget that. Now, I am a unique case. Okay, no, I'm not a unique case. I'm not that special. I'm a mixed person, okay? And there's a lot of mixed people, and there's a lot of people who are not mixed, who have features that don't align with what is the ideal version of that ethnicity right now. Okay, next I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to deepen up the outer corner. I think people forget that doing your makeup for your ethnicity doesn't necessarily mean it's going to complement your face in a way that you want it to, I suppose. And you know, I think that probably needs to be taken into account, or I think the trend should be doing makeup for my preferences. Honestly, I think that's what it really should be, doing makeup for my preferences, because doing makeup for my ethnicity is kind of, I don't know if that's very helpful. I don't know if it's very helpful or progressive, I suppose. I don't really know if that's the right word for this, but you know, what am I personally supposed to do? If I did makeup for my ethnicity, what would that mean? I'm a mixed person. Most people in the world are not 100% whatever race, you know? We've intermingled a lot. It's just we identify with specific cultures and ethnicities that maybe we've been a part of or our grandparents have been a part of, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have features that are idolized during this time period for that race. So I will give some examples of this. I will use my nose. I'll use my nose as an example because I have no insecurities about my nose whatsoever. Zero. I have zero insecurities about my nose, but it is something that is commented on frequently. My hair is commented on frequently by people, and my nose is commented on frequently by people. So I'll talk about my nose because this is a good example. I'll talk about it in the context of Asian, Southeast, and East Asian beauty standards specifically, because I am half Southeast Asian. And so these are things that I have been exposed to, and, you know, here, and that I try not to associate with very much, because honestly, like, it's just, it can be brutal. It can be brutal. But for the nose contour, okay, I'm gonna go into this shade here and wing it out, and then I'm going to put this shimmer on the lid. So in the context of my nose, there are certain features and aspects about it that make it a very desirable nose in East and Southeast Asia, specifically, that is so freaking big. I have a nose bridge that is very prominent. It is a big nose. And a lot of people in Asia tend to, when they say I'm going to do my makeup for my ethnicity, will contour their nose to give the appearance of having a more protruding nose with a more narrow nose bridge. And that's not a common feature in a lot of, it's not the most common feature for East and Southeast Asians to have a nose like mine. This is, I'm part Norwegian, and this is a very Norwegian nose. And so, and even my nose isn't the ideal for the Western culture either. It's not really ideal. It's slightly ideal because of the protrusion in East Asian and Southeast Asian cultures, but again, what's really idolized in both the West and the East is a protruding nose with a narrow nose bridge that's cute. My nose is not cute, it's a nose, okay? And it's not so offensive to people, because apparently there's a lot of noses that are quite offensive, that are noticeable and offensive to people. I've been around a lot of people for my life, and you know, I get to hear them opening up and talking about their insecurities, and I think having insecurities is completely normal and completely fine, and I think we shouldn't exacerbate them, or we shouldn't have trends that exacerbate our insecurities, like doing my makeup for my ethnicity. What does that mean? What does that mean? Like I know what it means, but you know, if like I don't have monolids, and some of my family does have monolids, and so if they were following this trend, are they going to try to do the double eyelid tape and make them look like they don't have monolids? Or are they going to do their makeup for their ethnicity, which includes having monolids? You know, personally, if I have children and they have monolids, you know, I wouldn't be upset if they wanted to change it. It's just something where I wouldn't want them to feel that they were so unattractive, or that society viewed them as unattractive because they have monolids. Personally, that's just my opinion, and that's just, you know, yeah, that's just my opinion. This is so beautiful. I really like this. Now, I'm not saying that we can't do looks from different cultures or use makeup techniques from different cultures, because I don't think that at all. I think that you should do your makeup the way that you want to do it, to your own preferences, and if that means making your nose look cute and like the social ideal, that's fine. That's totally fine. But I think it's really important to take into consideration, you know, that you can take different cultures' beauty ideals, and not even that, just their beauty techniques and their makeup techniques, and apply it to the features that you have. So for example, a lot of Asian eye and eyebrow and face techniques I don't use because it doesn't fit my features in the way that I enjoy seeing on myself, but I do use Asian techniques, or like East Asian, Southeast Asian beauty techniques with makeup when it comes to the rest of my face, because maybe my face, like my face structure and like face everything, composition, whatever, tends more towards that ethnicity, or what is common in that ethnicity, or I don't want to say idolize, because I don't want to be like, oh my god, I have so many features that are so idolized, you know. I don't think that at all. But I do enjoy the way that my face looks, like my cheeks and just how it all comes together, my foundation, all of that, when I use techniques from Asian beauty methods. That being said, I do prefer the American or Western products for my face. Oftentimes, like, I have used so many cushion foundations and I've tried so many different techniques with them, and it's just not my preferred. I just prefer the way my face looks with things like my Dior foundations. I think it just sits better on my skin. I think it complements my skin more. It's easier to find a shade match, honestly. Now, maybe it's because I went in person and found those shade matches. But yeah, I don't know if I have any Asian face products like foundation, blushes, etc. that I have found and really enjoy using over my Western products, but that's just me. Now, I don't think, I just finished mascara and put Tightline on my eyes. Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Onyx, or it's like the blackest black, whatever. I don't think that the trend is bad at all. I think it's just something where it can garner a lot of confusion of what that means. Does it mean doing your makeup to the ideal of your ethnicity? Or does it mean doing your makeup in a way that complements features that are found within your ethnicity? Which does it mean? Because so far I've only really seen people doing it to the ideals of their ethnicity. So like mostly I watch a lot of Asian beauty content, and so a lot of that does mean putting on double eyelid tape, contouring your nose to look like a different nose, you know, which I don't think is bad to do. Again, I don't think it's bad. It's just, I don't know if that's doing your makeup for your ethnicity. It might be doing your makeup to fit the ideal of your ethnicity right now. And something that comes to mind when I say that is how back in ancient Greece or Rome, sometime there was the beauty ideal to have a unibrow, and doing your makeup for your ethnicity back then would mean gluing fur or hair to this part of your face, because that's what the ideal would be at the time. So I don't think there's a lot of people doing that now, but maybe I need to pause and wait for this to cure, basically. So hold on. You know, seeing it play out in my little corner of the internet that I'm subscribed to or algorithmically tuned for, I suppose, it, for me, has really made me think about what kind of person I want to be in terms of how I play this out in my life. Because I suppose, you know, one could argue that I'm doing my makeup for my ethnicity. I wouldn't say that, honestly. I mean, so people can argue that. Personally, I would say that I'm doing my makeup in a way that complements my face in a way that I enjoy. It's not necessarily a way that everyone is going to enjoy or that people really like, or that is necessarily the idolized version of beauty currently, especially once you take into consideration like who's ideal, you know? Is it Asian, East Asian, Southeast Asian ideal? Not really, not really. I'm using this color foundation on me. I'm using a shade match. I'm not going super pale right now. And even though like it's so still prevalent to make your face so white, and I don't think that's bad. It's just not, I prefer matching my foundation personally, and making my face brighter, which to me does not mean whiter, but for a lot of people that's like the terminology that they use is like brighten your face, and what it really means is whiten your face. So I'm not doing my makeup for that ideal, or that ethnicity, I suppose, but I'm also not doing my makeup in the way Western culture does it 100%. It tends more towards Western, but again, it's not 100%, and I'm totally fine with that. I like the way that I do my makeup. Is it perfect? Are there things that I can improve about it? Yeah, totally. I am not a professional makeup artist, and you know, everyone has their own things that they really aim for and strive for when they're doing their makeup. Like some people are like, you should match your face to your chest if you're going to have your chest exposed. I don't do that. Or like, you know, like, oh, match the darkest part. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I probably don't do to people's standards or ideals, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But, you know, what ideal and standard am I going to hold myself to? When I do my makeup, am I going to be doing it for my ethnicity, or am I going to be doing it to what I feel looks good on me, regardless of if, you know, my Asian friends tell me that the way that I'm doing it is wrong. That has been a point of contention, I suppose, is that I am Asian, and I have in the past had many Asian friends, and some of them like makeup, and I remember us talking about makeup, and I do like Asian beauty and Asian makeup. I like learning about lots of different ethnicities, makeup style and preferences and ideals and that sort of thing. And being Asian, I'm just exposed to that more, or like I expose myself to it more. And I remember talking about a technique, an Asian beauty technique once. I mentioned a tutorial that I saw and how the person did it, and the response was really bad, because like basically we were doing our makeup together and I was trying it on my face, and I did it and I really liked the result, and apparently I was triggering that person a lot, or that friend a lot, because they were basically like, oh no, that's not how you do it, that's not how like an Asian would do it. And I'm like, I'm Asian. What are you talking about? I learned this from an Asian. And like they had seen the video too, so like they knew what I was talking about. And but like they were really guarded, I suppose, or protective of the way that I was doing my makeup, because I was saying that, oh, I'm Asian, I'm doing my makeup in this way that this Asian person is doing, that they agreed beforehand was like, oh yeah, like this is what a lot of Asian people do during this time with their makeup, but like you're not doing it right, and you know it's not going to look good on you because you're not Asian, that kind of thing. Like we're just like, that is the reality of the world, or a reality of the world, is that doing your makeup for your ethnicity doesn't mean that you're going to be the ideal for that ethnicity, or that you're going to be received well socially, even if you do it for your ethnicity. Oh, and I'm not friends with that person anymore, so don't worry about that. But it's something where it's like, you know, you're not going to please everyone. And I was doing my makeup at that time, just trying things out, you know. I didn't know if I liked it at the time or not. Turns out I do like it, and I still use that technique because I think it complements me and my facial structure and appearance in a way that I enjoy. But there's going to be a lot of people who have that kind of response of like, oh, you're not doing your makeup for the correct way for monolids, or you're not doing your makeup the correct way for someone who has dark spots, or that kind of thing. And you know, it's different if somebody is like, hey, I want to do my makeup in a way that covers up my dark spots, and people are trying to be helpful, you know, versus people just being like, oh no, that's not right, just randomly. And people do it way more than you think. Now maybe it's just the people I have been around. Like I grew up in the Asian community, and it's very common for unsolicited opinions and advice to come at you, and they want you to take it seriously, but not so seriously that you have mental issues. It's it's complicated. It's complicated. I have some opinions about that as well. Versus in the West, I think people are more passive aggressive about it, because I also grew up going to school and all of that in America and the West and like the Midwest. And so it's like, I know I've been exposed to that as well, of just like passive aggressiveness of like people just making really what I would consider weird comments. That's really, now that I'm an adult, I know that it was just people being passive aggressive about the way that I did something or looked or that kind of thing. I'm not even like looking at what I'm doing right now, I'm just talking. This blush is very, very forgiving though. NYX Buttermilk Blush. But you know, the term doing my makeup for my ethnicity was just a really interesting concept to me because of all these thoughts that I have, or I guess life experiences that I have that also shape how I view this trend. And I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I think it has the potential to really do a lot of good, but I don't think the algorithm and people's interpretation are necessarily always well thought out or well fleshed out or really considered, versus just doing your makeup for the ideal of that ethnicity, which doesn't mean that it necessarily reflects the common features or emphasizes or complements the common features. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be right back. I'm going to do my eyebrows, pick a lip color. I'll be right back. Okay, for my lips, I'm going to use a combination of First Dance from Charlotte Tilbury and then the shade 109 from Armani. It's just a very interesting trend, I suppose, to me. And I think like I said, I think it could be a really cool trend. I just don't think that people execute it in a way that's really helpful. Maybe I don't need the 109 Armani. It's a little, I don't know if it really goes with this makeup look, but I really like the way that it looks right now. You know, it also makes me think about how certain trends take things from other cultures and then morph it into something that complements and is amplified by a different race or a different ethnicity, and how there are these culture wars and ethnicity wars, I would say. And you know, I think it's fine to borrow different things from different cultures and ethnicities. I don't know if we should, each time we do makeup, say, oh, I got this inspiration from this K beauty or C beauty or this Mexican creator, you know, like that would be a lot. That would be a lot all of the time. And it's difficult to say that for everything that you put on your face. And, you know, I do think there are people who do steal things from other creators, from other ethnicities, and then use it on their own platforms and then, you know, take credit for it as like, this is my idea. No one else in the world has thought about this in this way and I'm going to monetize it, kind of thing. You know, I don't think that's good at all. But for the daily person, the normal person like me, I think doing your makeup in a way that complements your features in a way that you enjoy specifically, is what is important, versus doing something that is that complements your ethnicity or like is the beauty ideal for the time. Because I don't think, you know, I don't think we should be tending towards trying to change our features. I think we should be tending towards trying to appreciate the features that we do have. And it can be very, very hard. It can be so hard and annoying, and you know, I get that. It is a struggle for me sometimes as well. There are certain things about myself and my physical appearance and features that I get really annoyed with, and I get annoyed when people tell me, oh, you know, you should love that part of yourself. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we can dress, or, you know, we can design ourselves in a way that we personally enjoy. But anyway, guys, this is a look. I really enjoy it. It's similar to what I did on vacation. The lip is different, but I am really liking the lip. Again, I will put the shade names up a little later because I just want to get this video up and post something because I haven't in a while. Also, I really appreciate all of the comments that people are leaving. I find it so fun to respond to people and, you know, interact with people on here. So thank you for leaving comments. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.